There were once 13 gods on Olympus, but unfortunately one of the gods got into a fight with Poseidon. So Poseidon stabbed this one with his spear and announced that there were only 12 gods. And there became 12 gods. Because everything Poseidon says is the truth, and it became the truth after he said it. Since then there have only been 12 gods, 12 signs of the zodiac, and 12 months. But there are exceptions. Since the Earth needs a little less than 365 and a quarter days to travel around, the Sunday, February 29th, is omitted every 100 years. And they speak of a 1,000-year period. Animals, organized bodies, living and sentient, moving spontaneously. Plants, organized bodies and living, not sentient. Stones, solid bodies, neither living nor sentient. Carl von Linné, Systema Naturae. Living things can be divided into 3 domains. Eukaryotes, Eukaryota. Archaea, Archaea. Bacteria, Bacteria. Archaea are genetically different from bacteria and eukaryotes. Up to 15% of the proteins encoded by an archaeal genome are unique to the domain. However, most of these genes have no known function. Some archaea species can move very quickly in relation to their size. With 400 to 500 bodies per second, abbreviated BPS, Methanochaldiococcus janaskii and Methanochaldiococcus velocis are the fastest living things measured to date. For comparison, a sports car with 400 BPS would reach a speed of over 6,000 kilometers per hour, almost hypersonic speed. The bacterium Escherichia coli, on the other hand, moves at around 20 BPS, about as fast as a cheetah. Many cultivated species of archaea are adapted to extreme environmental conditions. There are species that prefer to grow at temperatures of over 80 degrees Celsius, hyperthermophilic. Others live in highly concentrated salt solutions, halophilic, or in strongly acidic environments. The dinosaurs, Dinosauria, from ancient Greek delta epsilon iota nu danos, German terrible, mighty, and ancient Greek sigma alpha rho omicron sauros, German lizard, are a group of land vertebrates that dominated the continental ecosystems in the Mesozoic era from the Upper Triassic around 235 million years ago to the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary around 66 million years ago. This period can be roughly divided into birds, land vertebrates, and oceanids. The subdivision of these consists of herbivores, carnivores, and platypuses. The most well-known carnivores were the raptor, the rex, and the pterodactyl. From a cladistic point of view, which is now the scientific standard, both the sauropsids, sometimes alternatively referred to as reptiles, and the dinosaurs include the birds, which came from small theropod dinosaurs. Thus, not all dinosaurs died out during the mass extinction at the end of the Mesozoic era, but a special line of dinosaurs, the birds, survived to this day. This line proved to be extraordinarily adaptable and successful. Carnivores is the scientific term for meat eaters. The predators, carnivora, are an order of mammals, Mammalia, which includes the canids, Caniformia, and the felids, Feliformia. As predators that feed mainly on vertebrates, the predators are distributed almost worldwide with 16 recent families and over 280 species in 128 genera. The scientific term carnivora means meat eater and is made up of the Latin terms caro, genitive carnis, for meat, and vorare, for devour. But not all of them are just meat eaters. For example, bears, ursidae, are opportunistic omnivores, and some species are predominantly herbivores, including the giant panda. A comparison of the size and shape of the carnation teeth in A. bear versus B. leopard, panthera, C. dog, canis, D. badger, middle, E. otter, lutra, F. raccoon, procyon, G. mongoose, hirsist, H. weasel, mustel. Whether the multicellular animals, metazoa, only came into being with the impact of the comet, or whether the comet brought additional genes with it, is not known. What is known, however, is the next evolutionary stage of these three creatures. After it was recognized that Neanderthals and humans were related but had evolved independently from an African population of presumably Homo erectus, both were given their own species status, Homo neanderthalensis and Homo sapiens. These findings only changed after the use of new analysis methods, with the result that gene flow had probably taken place, with a measurable contribution of 4% Neanderthal genes to the gene pool of today's Europeans and Asians. Analytical data published between 2013 and 2015 on the Homo sapiens fossils from Păstura Cu in Romania and USDiscum in Siberia supported these findings. Gene flow has so far only been proven in one direction, namely mating of Homo sapiens men with Neanderthal women. This group of paleoanthropologists thus classified Homo erectus as a purely Asian chronospecies, so that from this point of view Homo heidelbergensis emerged from the finds named Homo ergaster and is the last common African ancestor of Neanderthals and modern humans. Consequently, these paleoanthropologists now refer to Homo heidelbergensis as an archaic Homo sapiens. The Neanderthal, also known as a cave dweller or caveman, scientifically Homo neanderthalensis, is a relative of anatomically modern humans, Homo sapiens. They developed in Europe, parallel to Homo sapiens in Africa, from a common African ancestor of the genus Homo erectus, and temporarily populated large parts of southern, central, and eastern Europe. Apparently, during the last ice age, the Neanderthals expanded their originally exclusively European settlement area to West Asia, Turkey, Levant, northern Iraq, parts of Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and even into the Altai region. DNA sequencing of the Neanderthal genome revealed evidence of multiple gene flow between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. The Neanderthals make tools out of stone and wood and feed, depending on the climatic conditions, partly on hunting prey and partly on plants. They are able to use fire, can communicate linguistically, and are capable of creating symbols. Neanderthal finds since the Eocene warm period, around 130,000 years ago, are referred to as classic Neanderthals due to their often distinctive anatomical features. Due to at least isolated burials of their dead in both Europe and West Asia and the depositing of dead bodies in caves, Homo neanderthalensis is, alongside Homo sapiens, the best preserved species of hominini, the homunculus. There are currently different theories. The find from the Neanderthal was not the first fossil of Homo neanderthalensis discovered. As early as 1833, the Dutch doctor and naturalist Philippe Charles Schmerling had described a fossil child's skull and several other bones from the Spy Cave near Enges in Belgium, which he assigned to the Diluvium, the era of the flood, based on animal fossils and stone tools that were also discovered. However, this first scientifically described Neanderthal find, discovered in 1829, was misunderstood by his colleagues as modern. Is this just a story, or is it the other way around? You have to know.